All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome to the main topic of the Market Projections podcast. This week, we've got something special. We got a special guest, Ameer Yasin from Our Power Collective. Ameer is a web designer, web developer, project manager for web dev projects, speaker and healer. And he also recently came out with his own book called Launching Your Inner Power, Secrets Revealed, which I found out that he wrote in a weekend, which is kind of incredible to write any kind of ebook in a weekend. And he also has a Facebook group called Our Power Collective, which is a group that I'm actually part of and actually has a lot of value and has other people who are trying to unleash their inner power and become the best version of themselves. So I just want to ask you one question. What pushes you to do all these endeavors?
That's a really good question, Zaid, and I'm glad to be on your show. And I'm quite honored, frankly, to be your first guest ever. So I'm glad that you chose me. What pushes me? Well, when I was younger and growing up, I had a lot of limitations in my life. And I realized once I came into this world of personal development and personal growth, reading books, listening to audios every single day, it expanded my mind and expanded my thinking capacity. I didn't want to, it felt like it was unfair and unwise to be this person that just worked a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just doing the same thing every single day for the rest of your life, and then getting retired, and then dying from pain and getting sick. You know what I mean? I felt like with all the things that I'm learning with personal growth and development, listening to these fantastic minds, I was like, why would I want to have an average, normal life? Why not live the way I want to live instead of how other people are living, and just follow the sheep, if you were to call them that respectfully. I'm not trying to offend any of you, marginalize any of you, but to be honest, why don't we just live the way we want to live? So at a young age, at the age of 12, I was opened to personal growth and development, and it allowed me to really engineer the type of life I wanted to live. And that is what I'm working towards right now.
That's perfect. I can relate to a lot of that. I don't know. When I was growing up, I never felt the regular path was like for me. I always kind of felt weird why people did certain things, like, oh, do this, do that. I'm like, isn't like life short? You got to do stuff that's about you, right? And like about what you want to do. But I guess some people don't feel that way. They want to, I guess, stay with whatever is going on, whatever the brand of the day is, and whatever everybody else is doing. And I always felt different towards that. But that's always what I find interesting as well. And I feel like pain is always something that pushes people as well. Some people, they don't grow up with specific pain that pushes them to do something better. And I feel like people who have grew up with a lot of pain do that as well. Would you agree?
There's two main motives, and that's fear and love. So people are either doing things to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. And the thing is like what you're saying, Zaid, is people, grow up and they're trying to, like, that pain motivates them to become better. And it's because they don't want to live that way, that fear of that. In my opinion, we don't, there's some people that say 21 days to create a new habit, all this sort of stuff. But really, that's not true, because I've done things for 21 days in a row and it hasn't stuck. On the 21st day, I just stopped doing it, But the things that have emotional impact are the things that stick. So pain is a really strong emotion. Love is a strong emotion as well. And these emotions drive us to do things. For example, in middle school, there was a woman in my class, a girl, same thing.
I got you.
And she was my classmate, and she was telling me when her oldest sister was born, her father was a chain smoker, like smoked like lots of cigarettes a day. And once she was born, he looked at the cigarettes and looked at the baby, and he's like, I'd rather live a long life with my family and raise this child than to smoke cigarettes and get sick and get lung cancer. So he simply just threw the cigarettes away and never smoked after that day.
That's crazy.
So literally, a decision can change your life, and emotions can have a very phenomenal impact on what happens.
People also find it really hard to quit cigarettes. I had a friend who started smoking and then quit. He's quit like 5 times before he could actually quit completely. It was kind of crazy. You would see him come back to smoking cigarettes like, oh, I got stressed, and then I'm like, yo, man, you know this is bad for you. But I guess he hit a point where he was just like, no more of this, and now he's completely smoke free. Or yes, smoke free. Is that the right term? No, he
Smoke
doesn't
free,
smoke.
smoking free. Yeah, like I
He
mean,
doesn't smoke.
like my father, like that guy's father, that woman's father from my class. She, whenever what I'm assuming is whenever her father was thinking about smoking, he thought about his kids, and he's like, "Do I really love my kids?" And that set the frame. It's like I'm not doing this.
It gave him it gave him a motive, which is perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So my podcast is all about content creation and creating different strategies for people to use on for their services or their products. So I would like to ask you, which social media app do you think is the best for promoting yourself and creating a bigger audience?
I really think it depends on what you're trying to create. If you're doing a lot of like music video stuff and dancing, obviously TikTok, 'cause that's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
If you're more about capturing moments and you're into photography and you're more about being in the moment sort of thing, than Instagram, and you're younger and you want to attain to a younger audience, than Instagram and TikTok, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in business and you want a lot of the marketing tools, you want to have group pages where you can control who's in your group and you can use it as a funnel sort of, then Facebook is the king. And Facebook has an older demographic, and the thing about an older demographic is the majority of them have a lot of money
Mm-hmm. That's
than
true.
than the 12-year-old on TikTok. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. He's
So if you're trying to sell something, then Facebook's probably the best resource for you. A lot of like Instagram, you can see a lot of these Instagram models and such. They're selling clothing, low ticket items. But if you look on Facebook, there's a lot of like mentoring gurus and success gurus I found that are like, I actually bought a course yesterday on PowerPoint presentation that goes into animation and all this sort of thing. And the guy's marketing is all on Facebook, and it was like a $600 course. Very expensive, but it's worth the investment because one of my mentors bought from him, or had him actually work on this presentation, and he made $200,000 within the first webinar.
$200,000
Yeah,
just through the Facebook group.
yeah. Well, no, no, no,
And he's
not the Facebook group, but the webinar.
no webinar. Okay.
Like I'm talking about the actual course I bought.
Okay.
So what he did is he actually got a Facebook group, or no, he actually asked my mentor. Sorry. And let me start from. I'm confusing people. So
It's okay.
I know a guy. His name is Joel Bauer. I'll say it. He's one of the top people in internet marketing. Trains Dan Locke. Even he trained Tony Robbins, and he's like one of the top guys. Not a lot of people know about him, but some of the most successful people there is, we don't know their names, to be honest. And he was building a webinar, and he was so busy with his students, he hired this guy to build his presentation for him. And he's like, just do a few slides for me, and all is good. And literally that slide, that PowerPoint presentation, when he brought it to an audience of hundreds of people to sell his product, he made $200,000. And he used that as a testimony for his Facebook group page. And in the Facebook group page, guys, you don't understand. This is like the secret here, the mega secret. You funnel people to your Facebook group page, and you give them free value, and you get them to be engaged, and they love your stuff. And then you say, guys, listen, this is going to be turned into a paid Facebook group, and you have to buy my course, and everything's going to be on this group page. And then if you don't buy my course, I'm going to remove you. They're going to invest. And I actually know someone that made a lot of money within a day because the audience was already there, and they just made that change, and they made a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's like Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks about jab, 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 right hook. So you're giving, 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 and then you ask them to buy your product. And since you've given them so much value, they can pay for it because they want that. They think it's worth the investment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they feel like there's a debt. Like I've gotten so much value from this guy. He's like, you know what? I should give him. Like he has a product. He's given me so many videos about like let's say if my idea is to do photography and videography tutorials on Facebook because I haven't been doing a lot of Facebook group stuff, and I just realized recently from talking to you and talking to other people that Facebook groups are very important. So the whole idea is you give so much value through your Facebook, just giving out free content, talking about stuff that you're really good at, and then eventually you'll be like, okay, I'll put out this product. Oh, if you guys want to have it, you guys can use it. And people feel like there's like a debt, like, oh, this guy helped me out so much, I have to buy this product, which is absolutely perfect.
And the great thing with digital marketing, Zaid, is you don't even need the product to be developed yet to sell it. You can develop as they're buying. You know what I mean? So you can literally sell them the product saying, this is what I'm going to sell you. This is the curriculum. This is what you're going to get. And then when they buy, you can literally just make one video a week with your tutorial and give that to them. And then you're literally building the course.
It's like an ongoing process. That's crazy. I didn't think about that. It's like you could just do it piecemeal. You're like, oh, instead of just working on it for a good 2 months and then putting it out, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to do a piecemeal once a week. I'll have this kind of content coming out, and then every week it'll be different.
And guys, this is another major secret here. Like, this is unbelievable. And the secret is you help people for free. Then you gather their testimonials. Hey, thanks to Zaid changed my life because I used to suck at taking photos and I couldn't make any money as a photographer. And because of Zaid, I've made $2,000 and I've been featured in blah, blah, blah magazine. And here's the money. Here's the proof. There's the PayPal invoice. And, once you're selling that to people, they see, oh, look, this guy has results. Then they'll buy.
I definitely have to do more of Facebook marketing. It's definitely something that need to go into the surface of, but you're bringing a lot of light to the audience, saying that how good Facebook is. People think Facebook is for older people. And it's like, oh, it's not as cool. The content is like, a little bit older segmented, but older demographics, they actually have the money. So if, again, as you said on TikTok, a 12-year-old is going to be on there, dancing. She doesn't really have any money to buy your products.
Now, there's a lot of people on TikTok that are making money, but if you look, I'm not on TikTok actually, to be honest. I don't want to get addicted to it.
It is addicting, man, dude.
Because it's all ran by AI. The algorithm chooses what you get to watch. You don't choose what you get to watch on TikTok. But the people that have a massive amount of audiences, like 2 million, 3 million followers on Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook. And if only like 1% of the people buy like a t-shirt from you, you make like all this money. You know what I mean? So
that's enough to, get rid of your day job, right? So
yeah,
makes sense.
Or a lot of these YouTubers are selling t-shirts and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's where the money is, because a lot of apparently on YouTube, the CPM, just cost per minute, has gone down, and a lot of advertisers aren't making a lot of money on YouTube. And have you ever heard of Nelk?
Nelk Boys?
The Nelk Boys, yeah.
Yeah.
So they do pranks, they do really raunchy stuff, and they get a lot of views, but they get demonetized for all their videos. But the way they make money is off their merchandise. Their merchandise, they spend a lot of money on the quality. The design is amazing. And people literally, they'll have one drop and they'll never sell that piece of clothing ever again. And they have like certain amounts of people rush to the store. Sometimes there's like 30,000 people on the website before it even goes live. And they just buy up the entire store literally in like 5-10 minutes. It's insane.
And do the math. Like, you sell something for $5 and 30,000 people buy it. That's a lot of money.
Dude, that's enough for running your business, even having people with you that run the business with you. Like, my goal one day is to have editors underneath me, and just like, I don't want to do everything by myself. It's hard to do it, but like, that's another skill that we have to get up to, but that'll be hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
All right. My next question is, how important do you think video content is for?
It's really important. If you look at all the platforms, and video is like the king. video and photos. People don't like reading long posts. You know what I mean? They rather be interactive and engaged with an actual video. And with Facebook and even YouTube, Facebook, they actually want you to do live videos because it actually creates the most engagement. And people think Facebook, they just want your advertising money and all this sort of thing. But what they really want is engagement. Why do they want engagement? Because it helps them build out their AI algorithms. And I know that sounds bad, but think of it. Use that to your advantage. So you can just make money and live a happy life morally and ethically. And lives are interactive. It's like, think about it. Like Zaid, when your parents were growing up, they may have dreamed of having or being on live TV. Nowadays, no one watches TV.
Yeah,
We already
exactly.
don't watch TV. We're all on our computers and on our phones, and we can literally, with our phones, have a live TV show anywhere in the world with what we already have. We're just not leveraging it. You know what I mean? So why not leverage that? If you can build an audience, then imagine the potential that could have for you.
You don't even need to go. There's no gatekeeper. Like
No.
you can just do it right now. That's what. Whenever I talk to people who are like, "Oh yeah, I want to do some YouTube stuff. I want to do some Facebook stuff." I'm like, "Why not? Just go do it." There's nobody stopping you. Only person that's stopping you is yourself. And then
Yeah.
you're thinking like, "Oh, my content's gonna suck because I'm not good on camera." But that's just a skill that you learn over a time period. And if you just don't care what other people think, then you're solid. Then you can keep working on it and keep getting better.
I used to suck on camera.
Yeah,
I still do.
I think we all do. I honestly, you're pretty good. I wouldn't say you suck, but I think you're definitely really good, and I'm definitely getting better at it as well. And I was mad awkward on camera as well, but as you do it more and more, you get better and better.
Yeah.
Actually, that goes into my next question. So, oh, sorry.
No, continue. Continue.
So my next question is, what is your process when you're making a video? Like how do you think of the ideas that that you want to portray on the video? Like, what is your process altogether
Well,
when you make your?
right now, I'm more focused on interviews. So interviewing people. So right now on my Facebook group page, which is Our Power Collective, go on Facebook, search that name, the word Our Power Collective, and you'll see my face. You'll know it's me. And I basically, I'm plugged into a community, and there's other people that I know that have Facebook groups and other friends. And literally, we're just doing interview swaps. So I go into their group, I do an interview for them, and then in return, they do an interview for me for free, and we promote each other, and we do it for free. And that way, we're able to, my audience gets connected to their audience. I like and trust them, they like and trust me, and it grows organically. So literally, I just have a list of questions, 9 questions, and I literally give this to them in advance. I'm like, look at these questions, read them, and during the live stream, I literally just ask them the questions. And since they already read the questions, they're prepared mentally, so we can have this deep conversation with them, and they're not nervous because they already know the answers to their questions, and they're not on the fire, so to speak. And that's pretty much the whole interview, just asking them the questions, they talk, and see where it goes. If it's live on Facebook or YouTube or whatever platform you're using, people can comment, and then I can see the comment, I can put the comment on the screen. So then when someone else has a question, like yesterday I did a live stream, someone was asking a question, I just put the question there, and then the guest can answer the question, and we can have a whole discussion about it. So it's all about being organic and being authentic.
So how do you develop that being authentic and being organic on camera?
Not being afraid to fail. So like a few days ago, I did a 5 seconds or whatever. It felt like 5 seconds, but it was more like 2 minutes, Facebook Live. And I was outside, and I live in the city of Toronto, so there's other people walking around and stuff. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh, what are these people going to think of me and all this sort of thing. And if anyone here needs to like expand their comfort zone, I would recommend just going outside, record a video of yourself doing whatever on your phone, just talking to yourself. Just do that, because it will really expand your confidence when you're recording yourself in public. Uh, it just like it really changed the way I think of myself. And if you're afraid to, if you're not like right now, I'm stuttering a little bit. I'm, you know, like, what do I say? Being able to do that and sacrifice that, and being able to show the audience that, you know, I'm a little bit nervous. It's okay to be nervous. It's my first time. Uh, Having that empathy is really important for the audience. And you know, it's actually easier to be authentic than not being authentic, because now you're not hiding anything. You don't have to remember anything. You're just coming from this place of the heart connection. And it's not like, oh, I have to say this, I have to read the script properly, I have to use the right tonality. You know what I mean? Like
How to not sound like a robot.
exactly. So you're just coming, it's just natural. It's like talking to someone one-on-one. Like, I'm not live right now. I'm actually just having a conversation with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sitting right next to you and talking to you. That's what I'm doing right now. So having that mental frame really helps.
And those are always the best, when you're like faking the interview and it doesn't seem like a natural conversation between two people. It always just seems weird, right? But once you're doing a natural flow, then it makes more sense. I have that same problem too, where I'm outside and I'm worried that people are looking at me and like think we're a weirdo. But what I've noticed is that when you do engage them in conversation, it's like, and they're like, "Oh, I wonder, what are you doing?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm just shooting a YouTube video." "Oh, that's so cool. Can I check out your YouTube channel?" So like, most of the times those are my experiences whenever I'm shooting videos outside. So I haven't ran into somebody who's judging me or anything, but I'm guessing people are there. But a lot of people just, they admire that you're doing something in public, and like they admire that you don't give a crap if people are looking at you. So just realize those people are always wondering what they think is interesting, because a lot of people who make video content, it's very hard to do. It's very hard to be on camera. It's very hard to edit and all that stuff. So they really do admire, like, people nowadays, they love YouTubers. They love people who make video content online. Nobody really cares about anything else. Like, if you go to a bunch of like kindergartners or like grade 1, grade 2, they'll be like, "Oh, I want to be a YouTuber when I would grow up." So it's an admirable thing to do.
And that's why, you know, people need to stop watching the news, because it's all manufactured. And people are just reading scripts, they're reading teleprompters, and it's fake. And a lot of people are nowadays are not watching the news. Not a lot of people are watching TV. They're using social media to get their news. And some of the most popular news outlets are actually people that are on YouTube, and other private and independent media outlets are actually now more popular than these live TV and journalists that we all think, we all glorify, like, you know what I mean? And because they're coming from this human authenticity connection. And I won't mention any names here, but there's this one media outlet where it's literally just the guest is on and the interviewer is just asking him questions and listening, and not trying to debate the person, just listening and just making sure they get their voice and they're heard. And that's been a very popular form of new media, because you're not debating, you're not attacking someone. You just want their point of view to come across, so we as adults can make our own logical decisions.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you know, my audience, we're all about gear. We're photographers, videographers. We spend a lot of money on camera gear, lights, all that stuff. But a lot of us forget that the content is the most important thing. So, but if you had to pick one piece of gear, like, that you had to buy, like just one gear, and then you start making content, which piece of gear would you pick?
I'll show you this. My iPhone 10. This thing has everything you need to have a live show. It has two, not just one, it has 3 cameras. One on the front, 2 on the back. It has a light. That's a very bright light, actually. Wait, there we go. There's your light. You know what I mean? It has a 4K camera, 60 frames per second. It has a great screen. You can edit video on this. I've edited videos on this, short video clips with iMovie. You can go onto Facebook, you can go onto YouTube, and boom, make a live video right there, interact with the audience. It's all here. You can buy a tripod for this inexpensively.
Mm-hmm.
I actually never had a tripod. I have a tripod now, but before I literally used to put my phone on a stack of books, and that was my tripod. So it's really really versatile. You don't even need most people don't even need a laptop. They don't need a computer nowadays
No, you
because
don't.
they don't need all the additional baggage, if you were to call it that. They don't need the
Mm-hmm.
additional stuff. Steve Jobs said one day that computers, laptops, and desktops were going to be like trucks. They're for the heavy lifters, people that are doing more complicated things like developing apps and so forth. And tablets and smartphones are going to be cars. They're going to be for the masses.
Mm-hmm. I'm noticing that nowadays, a lot of people are using iPads. They're not really using laptops as much. And I'm personally like a huge desktop and laptop fan, but
Yeah,
I do it because I do video editing and I do a bit more heavier lifting stuff, streaming online through Twitch and stuff. So I need that stuff to do it. But if you're just starting out and you have nothing and you want to make content, I agree with you. All you need is your phone. And
yeah,
especially like the iPhone 11 Pro, which is like the highest level, has 3 cameras. Like, so there's 4 cameras on that thing now. So you can do anything crazy. Like, you do crazy stuff with it. You
yeah,
can get tripods for it. You can even get like a mic for your phone. So if you want better quality, if the mic isn't the greatest on your iPhone, you can use buy like a $50 external mic and you're good. You're making content. So I definitely agree with you that if you're just starting off, definitely just use your phone. Your phone is where's my phone? This thing is your computer, your editing software, your camera, your social media, your everything. Like
it's all free.
e-
You just
e-
pay for the phone.
perfect. It's all free. That's it. The phone is it, and you're good to go. So I definitely agree with you. Jeez.
Yeah. Just start.
Yeah, just start making content. Like, okay, so I have a group of friends. We're trying to create like a food blogging show, and there we kind of created our YouTube channel. We did all this stuff, but when you're people get lost in the minutia of things, they don't know how to be present and like figure out exactly what they want to do right there, right then. And they're always thinking, "Look, oh, we need to get this camera, we need to do this, we need to do that." And I'm like, dude, let's just write the script first. So, and I think content is just you have to always think of content first. It's the most important thing on your show. Everything else will come. Everything else will be part of it. So that's what I think.
And just one more note on that. Just start. You know what I mean? Like if everything's not perfect, like for example, if you don't know what you want to do, but you have an idea, just start putting out that content and your users will tell you what they like. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like for example, I have a friend who specializes in credit repair. So he wanted to start a whole business around helping people repair their credit. But what he found was a lot of people weren't being vulnerable to him because they didn't want to admit that they have bad credit. So what he did was is he found out through creating content on his Facebook group page that people loved his ability to create PowerPoint presentations that really were engaging and really cool and flashy. And since he was giving away that content for free, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna turn off this whole credit repair business I have and focus on PowerPoint. And he built
Mm-hmm.
this PowerPoint business, and he included the credit repair for free in the PowerPoint program. So now they're like, okay, now I'm not going to fix your credit for you. I'm going to give you a course so you can do it yourself, and I'm going to give that to you for free, and I'll give you this PowerPoint course you pay for, and that way it's a win-win. They don't have to feel embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. Because it's like the safety of their own house. They don't have to have somebody over them like, oh, what's this, bank statement here. So they can
Mhm.
do it by themselves, which is perfect. I think certain things like that you have to put out a course. I really got to put out a course, man. All this stuff that you're talking about with selling $400 courses, I got to start developing mine right now.
I'm glad you're excited. Like personally, I don't know what course I want to make yet. But
Mhm.
what I was talking to someone yesterday, and she's saying, Amir, you should teach your web development stuff. But I'm like, the
Yeah.
audience I have, I don't think they're gonna really get that. They're not gonna really grasp that because you have to be a very particular person to spend hours a day coding. And by the way, if you're interested in learning more about my web development stuff, click the link right there, amiryasin.com. Just type that in your browser and it'll show you my portfolio. and scroll down to the bottom of the website, and you can send me an email if you have any questions or you want to learn more about what I do. Just send me an email, or any inquiries about my Facebook group page or my book or anything. Just email me there, and I'll send that to you. But yeah, Zaid. And then someone was saying, Amir, you're really good in the whole healing things, because I've been around some top doctors, energy workers, and I've been trained by some of the best in what I can do. And I won't get into all of the details. I don't have the time for this interview because we can spend hours.
Yeah.
But there's a lot I could do, a lot I could teach. But right now, it's more I'm just putting free content out there, seeing what people like and where the demand is. Because when there's demand, you're in command.
And there's demand, you're in command. That's the first time I've heard that before. I like that. When there's demand, you're in command.
Yeah,
I'm going to use that. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's not my phrase. I got it from my mentor, Bill Bauer. So, I don't know.
Is it okay if I use it? You
I
talk
have
to
no idea, man.
Joe Bauer.
I'm gonna send you the link to that course. Actually, you're gonna like it.
Oh, perfect. All right. Just if you want to talk about your Facebook group and where they can reach you on your Facebook group and what it's about, and if you want to plug anything else, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Right. So if guys, let me tell you something, Zaid. There's a lot of people on this phone. There's about 2,000 contacts in this phone. Including my social media and all that sort of thing. And the majority of these people, let's say they were like us. They didn't acknowledge that there was power within them so they can achieve the results they want in their life. They didn't acknowledge so they can activate these desires within them to become the blogger, the photographer, the content creator, so they couldn't achieve the goals they wanted out of life. In this whole coronavirus pandemic, people have been stuck and they haven't innovated. They're not creating, and they're relying on the government. Listen, guys, I'm not an expert here, but let me tell you. And what I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a news person. I'm just a person giving my opinion, and that is, you gotta take responsibility and ownership for what you have in life. My friend Maya, I met her. She was homeless. Her mom kicked her out of her house. She was living in a shelter, and no food, no water. She gained a bunch of weight because people think, people that get fat eat a lot, but there are people that, certain body types, they eat less, but then they start eating more again. Their metabolism is a lot less, and they gain a lot of weight. And working with her, I met her through her ex-boyfriend, and working with her, she changed completely, lost a bit of weight, now has a job. She is happy. And that's because she followed my proven process of acknowledging, activating, achieving. So if you want to learn more about that, go to facebook.com and in the search bar, type in Our Power Collective. And you will learn, and I'm giving away for free my secrets and tips. And you can request my book on that Facebook group page. You'll see the link. And if you're interested in learning more about my web development and project management stuff, the link's right there.
Yep, a little bit.
There. And
there you go. You got it.
AmeerYasin.com. Go there and you'll see everything regarding that.
Thank you, Ameer, for being on my podcast. That was the main topic segment. Next, we'll do the content creation. I'll be back for that. Have a good one, guys. Let me in.
Up at the top,